Hi, everybody. This is Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports, and I'm very happy today to be joined on our boxing page. We've had some great champions the last few days, Deontay Wilder, Evander Holyfield, and we got another one. I'll tell you what, we have another one today who has done something that neither Deontay Wilder or Evander Holyfield did. She won not one gold medal, but she won two gold medals. Claressa Shields, the super middleweight champ of the world right now. How are you, Claressa?
I am great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. You have a fight, and I lost my notes here. You have a fight on Friday night on Showbox. People can watch that against Tori Nelson. She is 17-0-3. You are 4-0. Are you biting off more than you can chew, taking on a veteran with that kind of experience in the pro ranks?
Never. I
Never.
don't think I can. I don't think I can bite more than I can chew because I'm the best. I'm the best one out there. I think that they're biting off more than they can chew, calling me out.
And she's a person that's been around a long time. She had an interesting thing. In 2014, she had a fight at welterweight. And I want to read you a quote she said. She was asked, hey, MMA and women are doing very well, and they're exploding, but women's boxing is not. Are you surprised, or do you think that women's boxing will take off? And this is what she said. She said, I do, but right now it's slow. I thought it was going to make a big breakthrough when Claressa won the gold medal. If it was a guy, it would have been so different. But being that she's a female, it was sort of like, oh, okay, she won a gold medal. But I feel that it's coming. What do you think of that? And do you feel like that was after your first gold medal? You've now added a second one. Do you feel like your amateur pedigree and your Olympic background has made a difference and people are taking women's boxing more seriously than they did a few years ago?
I think that my two Olympic gold medals definitely made a difference, and I think that my skill level also made a difference too. Showing that there are different sides of women fighters. I think that with a lot of fights that I've seen, the women get in the ring trying to prove that they can fight. Like they want to get in there and brawl. Nobody has ever gotten there and actually used skill, head movement, counters, and stuff like that. So then when you watch me fight and I possess all those skills, I think that's where the interest comes in at, and that's probably why she said, she thought that maybe that when Claressa, won the Olympic gold medal that it would have changed, but I think that it changed for the amateur women. But as far as in the pros, the amateurs and the pros are two different. It's the same sport, but it's just two different ways about it. Just like for the men, and one thing she was right about was that when I decided to turn pro, that women's boxing was definitely going to change, and that's one thing she was right about.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your title plans, but I want to, Dana White had said something very famously in about 2011. He said, "Women will never fight in the UFC." And when he explained it later, he said, "I didn't think there was enough skill among the women at that time. It wasn't that he was arbitrarily against women fighting. He just didn't think that the skill level of the women at the time was good enough." Is that something that you face in boxing? Like, are there enough good women in your weight classes that you can put on fights that are going to hold the interest of fans and not just be one-sided wins by you?
When you speaking about me, I'm a two-time Olympic gold medalist. So a lot of my wins will be one-sided because of my experience and my pedigree in the amateurs. But um, I think that there is a lot of skill. I think that the skill is just unseen. There's a lot of women that box. I mean, who don't even put their fights on YouTube, don't put their fights on anything for you to even see how good they fight. There are girls that there's no one that's better than me, but there are girls that are, you know, I can say maybe 80% close or something like that, I guess. But there are there are girls who I've seen fight international who are really really good, and it's all about them turning pro and them putting themselves out there and getting them a strong team behind them to get them out there like the route that Katie Taylor is making. Katie Taylor, she isn't a two-time Olympic gold medalist. She won the Olympics in 2012 and she turned pro after losing in 2016 at the Olympics. And she has a great team behind her, and that's why she's been able to make the move that she's been able to make, because they have to something to look forward to. Like, they've seen her fights and they've seen her videos and everything. So that's where they started making, okay, we're going to put her against this fighter and that fighter, and that's where the interest starts. And I think that with women's boxing, it's like so many women's boxing talent is such a secret, it's just kind of hard to make fights. But I definitely think that that I have some fights at 168, 160, and 154 throughout my career.
Claressa, while we're going to get back to the fighting, I just want to have that young lady, when she's done with you adding hair to your head, maybe she has an old bald guy that she can help out and put some hair in this head, because I can sure use it, I'll tell you that. Anyways, just to follow up a little bit, the one thing I wonder about from your standpoint is, the big girls, 168, right? Yeah, I know Tori fought at welterweight before. She's moving up to weight. Are there the big girls out there? Do you have girls? Is there somebody out there, or I should say woman, not a girl. I'm sorry about that. Is there a woman out there at 168 that you look at and say, this is the one that when I beat, this will be my Frazier to Ali, that type of thing?
I have to say, I think that opponent will be French on Cruz, even though I beat her already. My first fight, I think that the fight grows more interest because she said that she wasn't in shape for our 4-round fight. She said that she got the call last minute, but I got the call at the same time when she got the call.
Right.
So whatever. I just knew that I knew that I had made the decision to turn pro, and that I just stayed in the gym, after Rio was over. So, I think she had plenty of time, but she feels that, she needed more time to get ready, and that we kind of rushed her to take the fight, when that's not true, because I gave her a personal call myself and told her I didn't want to fight her as my first fight. Not being that I thought that I would lose, but just because I thought that she would be a big fight down the line. I wanted her to win,
make some money.
To make some money. So now that when the second fight does get made, which I think that it will, the money will be less because I beat her already. The money will be less.
You are promoted by a guy that I think is a bright star as a promoter, Dimitri Salita. I think he's really going to be a good promoter someday. He was a good boxer and, really a smart guy. I saw he signed her to a contract the other day. Was that with the idea that he would put you two together again?
I have no idea. I just know that I saw French John make a post about her retiring. And then the next thing I know is that Dimitri has signed her. I think that he wants to keep. I think he saw her skill level from our first fight, and he just wants to keep women's boxing afloat. And with that, promoters have to sign the women fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep the fire going, because once you make the fire go out, it's going to be really, really hard to get the fire going again. So I think that when Dimitri signed her, of course, somewhere down the line that I came into thought, but maybe like down the line after she built herself up some more. But I don't think that the fight would be this year or maybe even next year. I just think that time will tell.
Finally, I'll end with this question. I just want to get your breakdown of the UFC featherweight champion, Cris Cyborg. She won her title. I'm sure you saw that fight in Las Vegas a week or so ago. She looked very good in that fight, defeating Holly Holm. You helped her sparring in that fight. She said she wants to fight as a boxer. Maybe she wants to fight Cecilia Brækhus. I would think Cecilia would be a big fight for you at some point, maybe down the road. How do you think Cris would do if she went into boxing, and do you think that's a viable path for her?
I think that Cris Cyborg going into boxing is actually good for her, in that I think the fight with her and Cecilia Brækhus would be bad for Brækhus, to be honest. I think that as strong as Cris Cyborg is, and just, from me being inside the ring with her and me actually boxing against her, she's smart, and she's strong to be at that small weight, because she could probably make 47 better than I could, or maybe even she can definitely make 54. Me and her both. But I think that Cecilia Brækhus, from me watching her fights, Cecilia Brækhus is 31-0 with 8 knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not knocking girls out. And it's like Cris Cyborg, because you seen how hard she hit going against Holly Holm. I think that would be a very tough fight for Cecilia Brækhus. But the thing that's crazy about that is that I want to fight with Cecilia Brækhus also, so I can get the number 1 pound for pound spot. So if Cris Cyborg was to come and beat Cecilia Brækhus, then it would be a big fight between me and Cris Cyborg. That would have to happen, even though that we're friends. But it's just like, when you want to get the throne of being the best pound for pound woman in combat sport and just boxing, the best have to make a way to fight each other. So I think that would be a fight, but hopefully I get Cecilia Brackers before she does.
I think we're going to have to call you All Business, Claressa All Business Shields. But she wants to find anybody who's in her path, even her friends. So that's
right.
Good. Hey, before we let you go, Friday night on Showtime, give us your prediction. I know you're going to win. Are you going to end it, or is it going all the way? What do you think?
I think it would be an embarrassment if I didn't end it. I feel like I have to end it because she's 41. And all the trash talking that she's been talking, like saying that I can't punch and I'm not strong. So I don't think that she'll be able to weather the storm early on, you know. And then also when you weather the storm, the storm early on, if she does, there's still going to be a storm after that, you know. So it's like, what are you going to do 8 rounds, 8, 9, and 10 when you're huffing and puffing from the body shots and from the head shots, and I'm still going like a Ninja Turtle. So I think she'll have a lot to deal with come Friday. And I'm just ready for the bell to ring. As soon as the bell ring, the first round, I'm just gonna go out there and show her what a real champion is, because she hasn't faced one.
You're going to be thrown. Well, I wish you the best of luck, not only on Friday night, but in the rest of your career, Claressa. Thank you so much. And congratulations again on all the success you've had.
Thank you.
Be well.